I never imagined that loneliness could lead me down a path I wasn't prepared for. My marriage had lost all its warmth. My husband was always busy, always distant, treating me more like a roommate than a wife. Nights were cold, conversations were hollow. Intimacy had faded into nothing more than a distant memory. I kept telling myself this was normal, that this is what happens after years together, that the passion simply fades. But deep down, I was starving for something more, attention, connection, a reminder that I was still alive. Then there was him, my stepson, confident, observant, far more perceptive than I had ever given him credit for. At first, it was innocent, fleeting glances, little moments where I felt seen in a way my husband no longer saw me. I told myself I was imagining it, that it was nothing. But the more I tried to ignore it, the more I noticed. The way his gaze lingered just a little too long. The way he always seemed nearby, silently watching. One evening, after yet another dinner drowned in silence, I retreated to my room, overwhelmed by the loneliness that had become my constant companion. The house was quiet, my husband asleep, my stepson presumably in his room. I needed an escape, even if just for a few stolen moments of release. As my hands wandered, searching for some relief from the frustration clawing inside me, I lost track of everything until I heard the unmistakable creak of the door. My body froze, and there he stood, my stepson, his expression unreadable. Was it shock, amusement, or something else entirely? My heart slammed against my ribs. I scrambled to cover myself, but it was too late. He had seen everything. The air between us crackled with something unspeakable. He didn't move. He didn't even look away. You shouldn't be here, I stammered, my voice barely above a whisper. He tilted his head slightly, lips curling into something that wasn't quite a smile. Didn't mean to interrupt, he said, calm. Too calm, not embarrassed, not awkward, controlled, deliberate. His composure made my skin prickle. Go, I whispered, though I wasn't sure if I even meant it. After a pause that felt endless, he finally turned and quietly shut the door behind him. I lay there afterward, breathless, humiliated. My body ached from what had been left unfinished, but buried beneath the shame was something darker, something I wasn't ready to name, a forbidden thrill. I told myself it was just shock, that I'd forget, that I'd move on. But that night I barely slept, replaying that moment over and over in my mind. The next morning I avoided him completely. I couldn't even meet his eyes without feeling the blood rush to my cheeks. My husband sat across from me, oblivious, scrolling through his phone like always. If only he knew. I focused on my coffee, trying to stop my hands from trembling, but I could feel it. My stepson's gaze on me, watching, testing, waiting. Everything okay? My husband asked, glancing up. Yeah, I lied. Just didn't sleep well. From the other side of the table, my stepson let out a quiet chuckle. Barely audible, but enough to send a shiver racing down my spine. He knew exactly what he was doing. The rest of the day was unbearable. No matter where I went, he was there, standing too close, brushing against me, making it impossible to forget what had happened. The air between us was heavy, electric, dangerous. Something neither of us dared name, but neither of us could ignore. That night, as I cleaned the kitchen, he appeared again, leaning against the counter, watching me. You don't have to act so nervous, he said casually. I don't know what you're talking about, I muttered, keeping my hands busy. Last night, his voice was smooth, too smooth. I froze. My heart slammed wildly in my chest as he stepped closer, the heat of his body filling the space between us. This was my chance to stop it, to shut it down, to walk away, but I didn't. I just stood there, letting the tension tighten around us like a noose. When he reached past me for a glass, his arm brushed mine, so simple, so small, and yet it sent a jolt straight through me. This can't happen, I whispered. But he didn't move away. Then why aren't you walking away? I had no answer, because deep down, I didn't want to. Babe, you coming to bed? My husband's voice called from the other room, shattering the moment. I jerked back, creating distance between us. My stepson didn't flinch. He just watched me, his eyes dark, unreadable. The days that followed were torture. I tried to avoid him, but it was pointless. He was bolder now, more deliberate. He knew exactly how close to get, exactly how to make my heart race without a single word. Then my husband announced he'd be out of town for a couple of days. I pretended it didn't matter, pretended I wasn't affected. But the second he left, the air shifted. We both felt it. That night I sat on the couch pretending to watch a movie. He entered the room, sat down beside me. Too close. Closer than necessary. I didn't move away. Still pretending nothing's happening? He asked, teasing. This isn't a game, I whispered. Then stop playing. I should have left. I should have stood up, walked away, but I didn't. His fingers brushed mine, light as a feather, but it sent shivers down my spine. I turned to him, trembling. This is wrong, I said. He leaned in, his breath warm against my skin. Then why do you want it? I had no answer. My thoughts scattered. My body betrayed me. When his hand slid up my thigh, every reason I had to resist disintegrated. I gave in to the hunger, to the fire, to the aching need I'd buried for years. It wasn't just desire, it was being seen, being wanted, feeling alive again. Hours later, staring at the ceiling, reality came crashing down. The weight of what we had done was suffocating. And yet, what scared me most was that I didn't regret it, not even a little. Morning came too soon. I slipped out of his bed, gathering my clothes in silence. My heart pounded, guilt and exhilaration warring inside me. At breakfast, I tried to act normal. He didn't. He was confident now. His glances were possessive, his smirk unmistakable. When my husband called later that morning, chatting about his trip as if nothing had changed, I forced myself to play the role of the beautiful wife. But everything had changed. As I hung up the phone, I turned to find my stepson leaning against the doorway, arms crossed, smirking. You're thinking too much, he said. Because this is insane, I snapped. He shrugged. Maybe, but it happened. It can't happen again, I said firmly. He stepped closer, his voice low. You sure about that? I wasn't, and we both knew it. The rest of the day, I avoided him. But the damage was done. Every time he brushed past me, my body remembered. Every look reignited what we had set in motion. That night, my husband came home. He kissed me, told me he missed me. I smiled, pretending everything was normal, but behind him, my stepson stood, watching, his eyes holding a secret that would never go away. I had two choices: bury the truth and live with the weight of it, or fall even deeper into the fire I'd already let consume me. And as my husband's arms wrapped around me, cold, distant, familiar, I realized I'd already made my choice.